Yeah, I'll start it off. Jim Bradshaw was a good close friend of mine, and I didn't encourage him to join OLLI, but he knew that I loved OLLI. And one day he informed me he was coming over to join OLLI. And before I knew it, he was treasurer of OLLI, and he was treasurer for a couple of years. The joy of OLLI for Jim was the people, the friendships he made. And when I tried to talk him into participating in the Zoom classes, he said, no, it's not the same. I want the people. I enjoy the people. And I couldn't convince him that through Zoom you can communicate well with people. No one on earth was a more loyal UCLA fan than Jim. He had UCLA banners on everything. He had it on his phone, you name it. But next to that, he did love Cal State Fullerton baseball, and he regularly attended the baseball games. And he attended any class that had discussions. He loved participating, loved Behind the News, the science classes, Ellie's music classes. I could go on and on. You may have heard him at OLLI Follies. He had a gorgeous, deep, beautiful baritone voice. And he sang a wonderful rendition of Some Enchanted Evening. So if he's to be remembered, I think he'd love to be remembered singing that song.
I remember Jim Bradshaw. But there's this other jazz band that I play in, and I think it was last Christmas time, or it could have been one other time when we were performing. And he was going to sing with us. So he came for one rehearsal. And of course, all of us knew him. Most of us did. And he couldn't get, it was a jazz piece, jazzed up piece. And he had trouble coming in. And then the next day we were supposed to perform, have our program. And he didn't come, he didn't show up. And I know for him to come, he had to take several buses, I believe, and transfer and then get to where we were. And he comes rolling in toward the end of our program. And so he sang, and it was just gorgeous. And he had figured out where he was supposed to come. It went off beautifully. And that's one of the things I remember most about him, his singing. And it was just an amazing song that he did, performance that he did for everybody.
Just a comment, we've lost too many people this year.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. That's all.
Hi, all. Kimberly Buchert. My mom was Betty Tang. And I wanted to reiterate how important OLLI Follies was to her. She was a prolific writer. If you only knew what we found after she passed away. She had writing everywhere. She loved her poetry. She loved to read. And she was very, very excited when she found y'all's group that she had some place to go and had an outlet and could actually get published for that. And I know my dad, Harry, was always intrigued with her stories, even those that she would read to me. I'm not sure if you all remember the cat lady from Dallas that was written about me because I'm a cat rescuer. But she would always call us and read us her stories, my sisters and I, my brother. So I'm very glad she found your group. She was very, very happy.
Thank you, Kimberly. She was actually one of the first people I met when I first joined OLLI in 2009. And it was great. Carl?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I contacted you about the individual, Byron Jones, who passed away. And I know many of you remember Byron Jones from Behind the News and Sports Talk. And I received a phone call from him this past Tuesday that his dad had passed away in January the 19th. So I just wanted to let you guys know because he couldn't get the information here in time for the
Are you there, Michael?
Thank you.
Sorry about that, I muted. Thank you, Carl. Mitch?
Yeah, hi, I'm Mitch Blake. My parents, Dick and Estelle Blake, sadly passed away in the last 12 months, about 5 months apart. And Ollie was a really important part of their lives. They were involved for maybe 25 years, something like that, maybe more. I'm not sure. But we went to a couple Ollie events over the years. One was a luncheon of some sort. And I know my parents and were involved in volunteering at the Cal State Fullerton baseball games as ushers. And so we went a couple times with them as well. But they would always talk about Ollie and a lot of the friends they had made through Ollie. And they were very, very, it was a very important part of their lives. And I just wanted to let everybody know that. And we received a number of condolences from all the members when they both passed on. So we appreciate that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mitch. By the way, I just wanted to let you know that your parents were so active with Ollie in their volunteerism in a lot of different areas, and they were always very cheerful whenever we got greeted by them. Always, they always recognized us. They always shook our hand and complimented us, and so they were wonderful, wonderful people. You should be extremely proud of them.
Great, good to hear. Thank you.
This is Patsy Burns, and I've talked to you before. I'm the manager of OLLI, and they were the greatest. I mean, I don't know of anyone that didn't know them and didn't appreciate what they gave to OLLI. So the relationship was equal. It was a win-win. So I really, they were a big source for OLLI.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us. Raylene?
Dick Blake, I met many decades ago. He actually prescribed my first pair of glasses. So when I joined OLLI and went to a lecture class, I was really shocked. I actually remembered him. He made it so I could finally see in school. It was wonderful. And his presentations were terrific. I really enjoyed his lectures in history. I also wanted to comment on Edith Bakian, sweet, wonderful lady, wonderful poet, always delicate and thoughtful and caring. And I want to say the same thing about Betty Tang. She was a wonderful poet. She was really inspirational. She presented a number of things that really encouraged me and inspired me to write some poetry. So these people will be missed.
Thank you, Raylene. Ken?
This program was especially valuable in the COVID year because in past years, when we were in OLLI in person, we could find out who had died from the bulletin board and from talking to other people. But with Zoom, you know, if you missed the email giving you the death notice, you didn't know. And I was surprised to see a few people who died who I didn't know about. So I think it was a really good idea to do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. And by the way, that probably is a fault of mine, mostly because I'm the one that sends out the memorial messages. And if I don't have enough data, or if somebody is not presently going to have a memorial service coming up, I will leave it to do it later on when time permits, because we have lost a number of people very quickly. And so it takes a lot of time to put each one of those notices together, although it doesn't seem like it does. So, but
You've
thank
done
you.
a beautiful job, Ellie.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mildred Young?
Me again. I wanted to mention Brad Woodhull. I'd known his wife for many years, and talked them into joining OLLI, and he truly enjoyed it. As many of you know, he was a wonderful piano player, and he could play by ear. Just I'm amazed when people can do that. And he could do it beautifully. He could play, you know, you could say, I want this in the key of C, or I want it in the key of G, and he would play it.
Yeah.
A wonderful man, very intelligent. He talked about a lot of things. So I miss him, and his wife later, after he died, moved to Georgia to be near family. And I truly miss her too.
And she truly misses Ollie. I just talked to her yesterday, and she's doing well. And she really misses being here. So, but she's doing well. So,
Hi.
hi.
I just wanted to, I came in late. I was tied up with something else, but I will watch all of it. I'm glad it will be available next week. But I lost my husband, Steve Jordan, this year, and I so appreciate this recognition or this acknowledgement is a better word. And he really did enjoy Ollie. He was a very quiet guy, and we'd only been members probably since 2016 when we'd retired, but he really particularly enjoyed Mike Stover's classes and genealogy. And he had really dug into genealogy, which was good because we really didn't know anything about his side of the family. And there are some big gaps now for others to fill in, but he found some exciting things that I hope we can verify because, you know, he really had taken an interest in that, and he was a very active person in church and volunteering in many ways. So, you know, he's certainly missed in his family, but Ollie was a very valuable piece of his retirement. And so I want to thank the organization, especially for managing to keep me going too through the Zoom. I've really appreciated being able to still get to things in the middle of the pandemic and all the other changes that we went through. So thank you. And I look forward to getting back and in person whenever we are able to do that.
Amen.
Thank you, Edith, very much. Thank you very much. Okay, Santa Jim.
There, I finally got on. Yeah, I too was kind of surprised about some of the people that passed this year. And I'm very thankful for this program. A lot of my good old members of the poker club passed on. And one of them was Ruben, who was such a wonderful, nice gentleman, soft-spoken, but just a wonderful guy. And so let's keep this up. This is a great program. Thank you.
I wanted to remember Kurt Spradlin for two reasons. One is everywhere that we went with Ollie, so did Kurt and the camera. The man took pictures of everything, and I can only imagine how many pictures Donna has hidden away in her house. And the second item is I will always remember Kurt and Donna standing by the tree at the Hollywood Bowl trying to herd the cats of Ollie back to the buses.
Thank you, Bill. And Philip?
Yeah, I forgot to mention Jerry Rosen. Jerry was in Behind the News, never opinionated. Always neutral in looking at things. And from my standpoint, one of the smartest guys in the room. Jerry, you're missed, and I'm glad Barbara's still with us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Phil. I just wanted to mention the same thing. I wanted to thank Phil and Carl and everybody who got to listen to Jerry in the Behind the News class week after week. That class meant so much to him. I mean, he even missed going to the gym some days to come to that class. And he was always the first one to have his hand up. He was always the last one to have his hand up. And everybody got to hear him. Phil said he was unopinionated, right? But he loved that class, and he really appreciated Phil and Carl for leading that class and doing such a great job. And I want to thank everybody who listened to him and paid attention to him and often commented about the fact that they appreciated his comments. And he did love Ollie. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Barb. Tom?
Yeah, I want to say a word about George Sherry. I was surprised to see his name on this. George and I played for about a year or so in a band called the Jammers. Raylene played in that band too. He played saxophones and clarinet, and but he left the band and because he said he was having trouble hearing. So I was then surprised to see him at Ollie among the poker players later. He quit the band. And I'd ask him, how you doing, George? And he'd say, oh, I'm cleaning them out. So, yeah, I do miss George. Yep.
Thank you, Tom. If you don't mind, I'm going to say a few comments on some of the folks that are on this list. I don't know all of them personally. I've seen them all, as we all have seen each other. And of course, those people, they're always greeting you with a wonderful smile. Hi, how are you doing? You know, so you were never at a loss for people talking to you around Ollie. But I will make comments on a few of them. Ruben Gonzalez was a member of one of my committees and stuff. And he was one of the people that I recall always being so helpful, always willing to help out, always eager to help. I remember Claire Brown Lesserson, excuse me. And she was a wonderful, wonderful person also. You know, we'd see her at a lot of the events that we had. She always loved to come to our special events. So I would frequently see her there. Toby, I remember seeing Toby around, and also her husband and stuff. And so they were always very friendly. They could always be seen at the card table. Let's see who's here. Oh, I already talked about Estelle and also Dick. And as I can tell you, I miss him very much, very, very much. Brad Woodle was always chasing me down and asking me, can you please sing with me? Because he played piano and he always wanted me to do a song for one of the shows. And so he kind of encouraged me always to sing with him. So I frequently worked with him at his home and his wife's home on tunes for some of our shows and stuff. Kurt Spratlin, I can't tell you enough about Kurt. I actually, hey, give me a moment. I met Kurt in 1979 when I worked at Hughes Aircraft. And he was one of the best managers you could ever possibly have. He was actually a high-level VP manager of a whole division and stuff. One of the nicest people. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how nice, especially when you're talking about big management. Big management isn't always so warm and fuzzy, but Kurt was. He was just a wonderful being. And when I ended up at Ollie, seeing him there, I was really surprised. And I ended up being his backup for his treasurer because he was on the board and I was on the board. And so I was his backup treasurer. And he and I we worked a lot together on all kinds of different projects. And again, like everybody says, you could always see him with a camera in his hand. He always made sure that I got copies of every single one of the pictures that he took in any event that he did for me. And so I loved him for that. And of course, his wife is wonderful. Donna is every bit as energetic and every bit as involved in Ollie as he was. So they made a fantastic pair in that regard. Margaret Lucas, I met through Ollie. We got to the point where we became very good friends with her and her husband, Bill. We went to many concerts together. We had dinners together. They came to my home. They gave me this wonderful, and I'll never forget it. It's a beautiful trivet. They had music notes all over it. So they were a very special couple, and I continue having them in my heart. So very good people. Let's see, Jerry Rosen. I saw him in lots of classes, and he was always energetic, always friendly, always talkative. And as everybody said, he had his opinions. So wonderful, wonderful person. Stephen Jordan, I remember seeing him from afar all the time. And he was somebody that I always saw had a great smile. And I always saw him enjoying himself with whoever he was with. I mean, he was very, very friendly, always laughing, just a good jovial person, wonderful individual. Patricia McGrath, she's somebody that I met. She was on the hospitality committee, and she was also very, very jovial, quiet, very, very quiet, very pleasant person. Always greeted you whenever you ran into her, always had a smile on her face, and she was a great personality. Pearl Miller, I recall her in some of the classes that we had and stuff. Very, very nice person. Again, very pleasant. Louise Lund. I surprisingly found out about Louise. She was one of our 90+ people. Okay. And so she frequently came to our 90+ events. And that's mainly where I got to see her mostly. But I understand that she was an extremely well gifted writer and stuff. And so when I found that out, I was really very impressed with her. Lenore Formosa, she was the mother of Robert Fields. If everybody knows who Robert Fields is, he was our pianist there at OLLI and stuff. And so she was a very nice individual, very nice personality. And Betty Tang, like I told you, I met her when I first started work, with OLLI, and she was fantastic. She was very involved in all of the shows and everything else that they did. She was actually one of the coordinators that was involved heavily in dealing with all of the OLLI Follies and stuff. Mike Spies, I remember Mike from my recorder class. He came in, he was so funny. He came in and he wanted to learn the recorder, but he was also a big traveler. So he would come in and he'd say, okay, Ellie, I want you to give me the lessons so I can go practice when I'm on vacation. So he always came in and talked about, getting that. He was very good, by the way. He learned quickly, wonderful personality. Mona Stockdale, I recall seeing her a lot. She was in a lot of the arts classes and stuff. Again, another wonderful personality, Rosalie McKenzie. I did not know Rosalie at all. I'm sorry, I apologize. I wish I had. Judy Avalos is another person I saw. She was part of the chorale, and she always had this wonderful smile on her face. Very talkative, very, congenial. Bill Lindstrom was our coordinator for our medical series. So if any of you guys went to our medical series lectures, you always saw him there. Wonderful, wonderful person, very friendly. I had the occasion to talk to him in several opportunities to talk to him. Great person. And of course, there's Jim Bradshaw. Everybody knows Brad, and he's the person that used to basically race around around the OLLI campus on his motorized chair and stuff. And there were a few times he almost got me a couple of times, but he was very, very, very friendly, congenial, loved to sing, had a fantastic voice, wonderful personality. Bill Burns. Bill Burns is somebody that I met and got a chance to talk to. He was one of our 90+ers, and every year when I would call him, I'd invite him to the 90+ event, and he would always tell me, well, I don't know because my kids come pick me up on the weekends and they take me with them. So he said, so yeah, I probably won't be able to, but he gave me that same excuse every year, but we always had a great talk. So I enjoyed talking to him. Let's see. And that's about it. The others I don't know that well. I knew Edith Bokian. I had worked with her earlier about getting her onto our OLLI Zoom classes and stuff. So we worked closely with her to get her on and operable and stuff. So that's about all I have. Okay, now I've said my piece. Now I'll let everybody else have theirs. Jody.
I just wanted to chime in about, I had two people I was totally surprised about. And one was Ruben, which I have to echo what everybody else said. What a wonderful guy he was. So nice and so pleasant. And you think about, I wonder what a circumstance, what kind of life he had to have, and yet he was so kind and gracious, despite him being in a wheelchair and everything else. I thought, boy, you've got to have some attitude to have to be that kind and gentle and loving when whatever's happened to him. I don't know what it was. The other one was George Sherry. I was totally surprised. I didn't know he passed. What I like about Ollie, it's a no couch potato zone. Everybody's doing something interesting or exciting. And George, here he is in his 80s, and he starts a new company. And he's invented this thing, and he's doing this whole thing about helping so that houses don't catch on fire. And he invented a whole thing, and he had a whole new company started in his 80s. I mean, that's a no couch potato zone. So that's what I love about Ollie, is nobody's sitting on their duff doing nothing. Everybody has something to contribute. And in poker, by the way, he did blow everybody away. He won all the time. It was really good. That's it.
I wanted to, yes, I just got muted myself. I wanted to direct some remarks about Jerry Rosen, the husband of my dear friend Barbara. And that's mostly the way I knew him. A lot of you knew him through Behind the News. And of course, if you did, you knew exactly where he stood politically. In Spanish 4, we had a lot of discussions in Spanish, but I refused to let anybody bring up political topics because, you know, the climate today, I felt there was great potential for people getting mad at each other, and we're there to learn Spanish, not to be mad at each other. So no politics in Spanish 4. So someone finally asked me, well, Margie, you never say anything political either. What are your politics? And so I just tossed off, oh, I'm to the left of Jerry Rosen. and Barbara took that home, and I don't know if she remembers this, but she told me she told Jerry that what Margie had said. And in his typical sense of humor, he said, oh my gosh, finally I've become a benchmark.
That's cute.
A couple comments for mine. One, Jim Bradshaw absolutely loved poker. I didn't mention that. But the other interesting story that Ethel reminded me of, he loved the genealogy class. And in the class, he found 2 other class members who were on his family tree.
Oh, wow.
So that's something interesting that can happen at Ollie.
I just want to say there have been so many people that we lost this year. A lot of them just blown me away. I didn't know. And I read my in memoriam notices as well too. But you know, we've had a tough year with this pandemic for everyone. And Ollie members are really resilient, and we've lost so many people. So I think it's one of those things that we really need to kind of cherish everyone that we have. And I don't know how else to put it, but it sort of jars you to realize that people you see all the time, and we haven't seen everybody for a whole year now, but people that we're so accustomed to seeing all the time, we can lose them. And
just like that.
I don't want to pull out some of the people I do know from this. Ellie's already gone through the whole list. I just want to say, for those of you who are here and in this in memoriam for a whole bunch of people that we've lost at Ollie, my heart goes out to you, and I hope everybody's doing well, will come back really well, and that you take care as well as you can during these circumstances. But we'll be back, so just hang in there. And thank you for letting me say a few things, Ellie.
Oh, thank you.
No, so it's always sobering to go to in memoriam, and this one in particular, when, you know, I knew almost everybody, and I think I had certainly seen and talked to at some point everybody on the list, and it's really a sobering experience, as Joyce said, to see this list and remember those people, but remember the vitality they gave, and to say, well, how can we replace some of those people? You know, I have memories of Dick Blake trying to get me to make sure I was inviting his speakers to the eclectics. And when I took over the VP of programs, he came in with 2 large boxes with all the files for all the speakers. Yeah, the history of all the, and these were major people, major speakers that he had been able to persuade. And Kurt Spradlin, who was such a powerhouse of a person and a contributor and a volunteer for OLLI, but almost virtually all of these people, as somebody said, this is a no couch potato zone. They're all active people. Even the ones that were in wheelchairs were all active and doing things both mentally and to the extent they could physically. So an impressive group just to be associated with this group. So it's, as I said, kind of sobering to see them, those that have gone.
I want to say a couple words, and that is that, with me being here with OLLI for 20 some years, I find it still amazing, absolutely amazing, because I've known each and every one of them, whether it's just saying hi every day when I would see them, or having conversations and finding out what they were learning in classes, and they would describe to me what they were learning in classes. And it's just a remarkable group. And it's like a big family, if you will. And we all see each other as that, because we're all here to share and share alike. And it's, the only thing I wish that I had more time to have done was to be able to sit down and talk to each person, because each person had an amazing background. I mean, it's unbelievable the stuff that you could learn from each person. It was, you would have people who were scientists, you had people who were lecturers, you had people who were in politics. I mean, you name it, we had every gambit there could be. And it was just a fabulous melting pot. It just really, really was. And to see these people pass away, it's like losing a family member. I mean, because that's how OLLI felt about its membership. And I can certainly attest to that, because I worked closely with many, many people. And it's sad to come in one day and you see them one day, and the next day you hear about them passing. It's a very sad thing for all of us. And I want all the family members who are here to realize how much we valued your family, and we miss them. We've seen so many pass, and we do miss them still. I have one particular gentleman who watched for me to come into the kitchen every day so he could say hi, and then the next day he wasn't there. And that's just how we are. It's a family, and I really appreciate you coming today and sharing your family with us all these years. And you guys are all great. Family members, OLLI members, you're terrific. And I couldn't be in a more rewarding place than OLLI, because you guys just bring it all together. Thank you.
Ellie, I just want to say thank you for keeping the program going. It's a wonderful part of OLLI. It's been around for many years, and you've done a fantastic job of keeping it running. So thanks for keeping it running, especially during the pandemic, and keeping us informed and giving us this opportunity to sort of say goodbye to some of the people that we're going to miss. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for keeping us informed and in touch.
That means a lot to me, Shar. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And like I said, the people here are great. This is why we belong to OLLI. This is exactly what it's all about. So thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate your attendance. It's unfortunate, that we have to meet this way, but in some ways I'm glad we had a chance to do this, because we, like everybody else, when we lose people, we want to have that moment of being able to connect and to be able to have a few, comments between us, which we didn't get that opportunity because of the COVID virus. Basically, a lot of people weren't able to go to memorial services, or have memorial services. So I felt it very important that we did do this time. We don't normally do it to this extent. But I really felt strongly that I thought we all needed to do this.
Yes, I just wanted to acknowledge Shar too, because she's the one that started this program.
Yes. Yep.
And laid the groundwork for it. And of course, you've done a fine job, really good job of carrying on, but she was the one who started this. And I think it's a really important aspect of OLLI.
Yeah.
We all love OLLI for the, the learning for sure, but I think most people would say it's the social aspect.
Yeah.
That's really, really important. And it's not to sound elitist, but as we said, people here, we are different in our activity and whatnot. And you can tell compared walking into OLLI, for example, when I used to take my mom to her senior citizens, and it was a different vibe. You could just walk in the door and feel it instantly. And as much as we all love OLLI, the one thing that really sucks about OLLI is that we lose membership like this every year. And this is a pretty high year, it seems like to me.
That's life, my dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Carl, thank you so much for acknowledging Charlotte on that one, because I forgot. I should have acknowledged you on that. Char did have this post that I'm doing right now. She was the one that initiated. She's the one that started and did it for many, many, many years.
I'm old.
Yeah. And it was really heartwarming when she came to me and told me, I'm having a hard time doing this now, because people in her age, as she put it to me, people in her age group were falling off, and it was really affecting her. And I understand that, now, because there's times that I put these things together, I'm literally crying while I'm doing it, because I miss them. We're close. That's all there is to it. Anyway, sorry guys, we lost it. I lost it. So if you guys don't think we miss you when you're gone, think again.
Ellie, it would be terrible if someone died and nobody cried.
Right.
Thank you.
It's okay to cry.
Thank you. I really do value the people that are in my life. And this is OLLI's one of the groups of people I value. So just so you know, I'm going to encourage the families to please feel free to contact us. Let us know how you're doing, because we really do care. I really do wonder what's going on with those people, the members of the family that are left behind. There's a kinship there. So don't feel, please contact us. Send me an email. Let us know you're doing okay. Tell us how you're doing. We do care. Okay, on that note, shall we commence here?
Yes. Thank you, Ellie.
Thanks,
You're welcome, Edward. Thank you. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ellie,
Thank you,
for
Elle.
all your work.
Thank
Thank you.
Guys, take good care.
Bye-bye.